Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Filterbank. And no, it's not based on the Moog Spectravox, even though the release of this device kind of loosely inspired this video. As far as I know, the Moog has 10 filters, and that's as far as the similarities will go. From there, they might or might not do the same, although there might be overlaps because Filterbanks just have a certain behavior. Now, first, Bitwig already has something quite similar, which is called the Resonator Bank. I have a custom preset, default preset here, but basically you have 8 filters and you can control the gain, the resonance, and the frequency of these individual filters. And I have a spread here, and let's just listen to it real quick. And you can see with these little blue dots, they animate the position of the respective filters. Yeah, it's quite interesting, but it only gets you so far. And what I want to use today is another grid, as almost always in my tutorials. So this grid only delivers the waveform, the sawtooth, which is one of the most interesting ones to filter, and I want the filter bank in a separate device so that we can apply it to pretty much every signal that we want just by inserting it as an effect. And we will make heavy use of Bitwig's awesome capabilities, meaning the voice, the stack spread. Here we go. Well, I see an alert here. This is because we are not stacking voices yet. So, well, at the core of each filter bank is, of course, a filter. And we have a vast array of filters with then a lot of capabilities inside of them to choose from. I don't know which one to pick. Yeah, Silent Key is nice. And we're going to use bandpass filters, and it has quite a lot of them. It has a 2-pole, 4-pole, 6-pole, and 8-pole, which is interesting. So let's begin, well, maybe with a 6-pole filter. One thing I already know we have to be careful about is as soon as this one goes into self-oscillating mode, it becomes really loud. So I want to be careful not to cross that line. So I want to go very close, but not over it. First, yeah, let's turn off key tracking. We don't need that. Then let's drop it into the audio path, reduce the input volume as we have done in my previous videos about filter, or as only one video. Set the Q limit to 12 to avoid any chance of the filter distorting. And now let's listen to it. Yeah, we definitely need a way to regulate the output volume. So let's drop in a mixer. But don't need to be too worried about it right now, because now we're going to increase the voice stack. And the Moog has 10, so let's go with 10 filters here as well. Now it's already significantly louder, even though this is only an effects device. It has no sound generator, but it's kind of interesting to observe this, I think. And now, of course, these filters are operating at different frequencies, so we need a way to spread them out over the frequency spectrum. And that's where our voice spread comes into play. You can see for each voice we have a different amplitude, and in this setting it's evenly spread from 0 to 100%. So I could apply this directly to the filter like this, but then I don't have a lot of control over the spread itself. So I want to translate this into something from, I'll pick a value knob, and we will actually modulate the value knob. Then the value knob goes into an attenuation module, and then the attenuator will be fed into a modulator out, and then, only the modulation out will control the spread. Okay, for visualization purposes, I want not an oscilloscope, actually. Or let's right-click on this, turn it into a spectrum. Let's make it nice and big. This is 0 because we just want something to look at. Then make it very fast and the resolution huge. And of course now, okay, here we can hear the filter, or well, we cannot actually hear it, we can just see it. But it actually already produces some noise, yeah, around 90 decibels. That's pretty much negligible. And now let's see what happens. Now, okay, we can already see the filter peaks here. And when I open and close the attenuation knob, we can see how they spread out. Now let's listen to it. Yeah, let me, so. No, I actually need the device bar. Let's make this a tiny bit smaller so that everything fits. So. Okay, now this is just a spread. And once we have this, we can, of course, then control the filter. Okay, that alone is already quite interesting. But yes, of course, that is just the very beginning. And actually, no, I don't need this device bar. At least not for now. So what would be interesting if we could also control the individual filter frequency positions individually just by filter. And that's actually also quite easy to do thanks to the voice stack or the voice spread. And let's turn the internal sequencer off. And now from the face section, we need a shifter, and we actually don't need any input here. We can just apply stack spread until all of these are lit up. And actually, let me show the info bar real quick. We have 10 filters, so we need 10 kind of steps. Okay, let's increase that a little bit until we have 10. Okay, fine. And now we can apply this to the filter. Now let's turn it down. And when I can use them individually or accumulate them. And actually, let's give them names or we will get confused later on. This is the filter spread. This is filter frequency. Okay, now when I reduce this amplitude here, I should be able to control the individual filter positions by dragging this handle. So let's turn them all down. Very, very low frequency. Yeah, that increases the possibilities already quite significantly with pretty much no effort at all. And of course, one of the reasons I love this steps module is that we can simply randomize the positions here until we can come up with something that we like. Okay, cool. We could do the same for the resonance, of course. I won't do it right now. You can do this as a little homework. Basically, just copy this one and apply it to the resonance. But what else I want to do? I want to add an LFO. LFOs are awesome. And now because we have this voice stacking active, we have de facto in the background 10 LFOs, as we have 10 different filters and 10 steps in here. So let me copy this phase shift module here. As you can see, the modulation will automatically also apply to the copy, and I can hook this up to, no, it's not what I want to do. Yeah, I want another attenuator so that I can control the spread, modulation out, and apply it to the phase here. And set this to 365. And that now should allow me to spread the phase. Is this correct? Ah, it's not hooked up. Okay. Now that works. And here, yeah, it would be nice if we had a little attenuator here. We don't. So I need another attenuation knob. Another modulator out. And now let's apply this as well to the cutoff. So that's a bit too much. Now let's see what that does. First with some spread. Deep, deep, deep. Now let's spread the phase a little bit. Yeah, as most of you know, I don't like the way the LFO works, at least as the speed control works. So let's reduce that. Go to kilohertz. Get a value, then to, phase, bend. Duplicate that. Bend this completely, this one a little bit. Then get a modulation out, or you can also wire it up, but then you have to deal with the cables. So, and now this allows us to control the frequency of the LFO much better. LFO speed. Or not, if you haven't hooked it up. Now we get some very interesting behavior because of the the frequency shift that we have applied to the different elements. Now all of them are stacked up, and now we start spreading them out. Now it's also cool if we change the symmetry of this shape. As you can see, now they kind of go upwards, upwards, upwards until they reach the top, and then slide down back to the lowest amplitude one by one. It sounds really interesting, I think. Yeah, I think it sounds really cool, especially considering that input signal is only a sawtooth. And we can add spread, we can manually Yeah, nice. So what else can we do? We can, of course, control the LFO speed. As I mentioned, these are basically 10 LFOs stacked on top of each other. So if we take one of these, can actually use the same shift device, but I don't want the cable. So no. So just like this. And I can now apply this to the speed, and this should give me control over the different LFO speeds. And let's verify this real quick. I mean, let's spread them out a little bit so that we can see something also here. Is it working? Yeah, we need some amplitude. Maybe I don't want the full range. Yeah, but now they have all kind of the same amplitude. Maybe I want to control the amplitude as well, which is as easy. We just take this one, apply it to the attenuation knob. And now, well, let me just spread this out a little bit for demonstration purposes. And now we can control the amplitude of every single filter LFO. or just return it to 0, and you still have these options here to control everything globally. Something else that's interesting is Filter FM, of course. And applying it to 10 filters is even more interesting. Now let's keep the spread, attenuation. And for that, yeah, let's use an actual oscillator, and I like to use a sawtooth. And since we are on a MIDI track, it will be triggered when I hit the MIDI note and I want it to play an octave lower than the sawtooth that I am feeding into it. Or I, of course, could also use the input signal to create filter. So I think here the amplitude is relatively high because we now also stack 10 voices on top of each other. Or no, we just apply it to all 10 filters. Okay, we need, of course, also individual control here, which means, again, we just need an attenuation knob. Put this to 0, then copy the steps module and apply it. And now I just have to dial in a maximum value that I want to be possible, like 24 decibels. And while we're already at it, we can, of course, apply everything to the pan as well, so that each filter voice will get its own pan position. And this, of course, wants to be bipolar. And then let's just open that and randomize a little bit. Yeah, I think it's quite interesting considering that the input signal is this. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Now let me think. Want something else? I don't think so. Let's try the 8-pole filter. We need to amplify the output a little bit. Yeah, it's of course also interesting with less resonance, but then you have to amplify the signal a little bit more. Yeah, I think it could, sit here and play with it for hours, but I won't bore you with that. So yeah, this just as an inspiration. I think shows once again how well the grid is actually designed with this voice stacking and the stack spread. And then, you need a few modules and you can go crazy. And this is just one filter. And you can use a whole lot of them, Although I suggest using bandpass filters, which will probably give you the best results. Everything else will create ridiculous amplitudes when they overlap. But also, try something else, or use envelope followers, run percussion through it, just experiment. And that's it for today. I hope you like it. If so, then like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.